obviously it's a lesson that is very needed. So Tia Mowry came out exposing herself with this new man. She planned this whole rollout with her PR team. They scheduled the paparazzi to come out and photograph them and send it to the blogs like she's being exposed or something. When she and her team scheduled the whole appointment, Tia Mowry had her hands all in it. They conveniently also sent the blogs the identity of this guy along with his resume. But for the record, for anybody asking why are we talking about this? Well, it's being talked about because Tia Mowry was so desperate and she wanted to be talked about. Yeah, she planted her own story on social media for attention.
So that whole little thing when we saw them together, everybody was like, "Oh, Tia Mowry doing all of that." No, this whole thing. Because if you look at his face, he's like, "Why? Who is them people?"
Right.
Look how you look at the camera. What?
Right.
What's that?
Right. I just wanted to cup.
That's why she was trying to.
No, he wanted to shine. Trust me, he wanted to shine.
She planted her own story on social media for attention.
Wasn't ready.
That's why she was trying to kiss him in front of the cameras that she hired to be there. And he's looking like, what's going on? Got her looking even more goofy because obviously she didn't give him the heads up at least. Or he was in on it and he's just not good at acting. Now, for the snowflakes that don't understand the plot here, this is a major L for Tia, and let me tell you why. If you watch Tia's reality show, which many people did not, it was a flop, then you would know that she's the one that sat down and talked about the pressure of being the breadwinner in her marriage. She talked about carrying the household, feeling like she was holding everything together financially. So my question is simple. If that dynamic contributed to the breakdown of a 14-year marriage and caused her to break up her whole family, why step right back into the same situation, but worse? And for people...
You know she the breadwinner in this one.
Right.
You know that.
Absolutely.
He's like 35, 32, something like that.
Maybe.
She like her age.
Saying, oh, you're judging. Listen, you're a fool. It's called discernment. It's called pattern recognition. And you better be using your own sense and judgment to make good decisions in your life, or you'll be taking L's left and right just like Tia. You got a lot of people running interference here, trying to save Tia from absorbing this L. Other airheads just like her that go around making the same dumb, selfish decisions. Or snowflake men trying to run interference, trying to take up for this grown behind, questionable, confused man attempting to use Tia, according to one of his girlfriends. He's telling his other women to fall back and let him hit a lick. And when I'm done with this video right here, that's just what I'm going to let all of them do. Because it's very clear what's happening here. Now, another point that's very important to this whole storyline, that's the whole scene at the bus stop, that story. People kept coming in the comments talking about Corey and Tia didn't meet on the set of a movie. They met at the bus stop. Here's the whole deal about that. The truth is all three of them were a part of a movie. Corey was in this movie, along with the twins, Tia and Tamara. It was after they wrapped up Sister Sister for good.
And they had to catch the bus home because they wasn't making no money.
They were all a part of this film. They kept it professional at work. But one day after filming, Corey walked over to the bus stop to get home while Tia and Tamara left the set driving their car. Just as they were wrapping up for the day, Corey was standing at the bus stop waiting for the ride home. That's when Tia and her twin sister Tamara drove by in their car. They recognized him and saw him waiting there. So they pulled over and offered him a ride.
My first impression of Corey, we did this movie called Hollywood Horror. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him and seeing the type of shoes he had on. They were terrible. They were horrible. And it was wardrobe. They were like the Birkenstocks. Like, who puts a brother in Birkenstocks?
It was a low-budget movie.
Who puts a what?
A brother. I like how she said it.
Yeah.
I like that kind of black girl. That's the kind of black girl that don't sound right saying the N-word. You like, I don't know. It's bothering me.
Go back so we can hear it again.
Like, who puts a brother in Birkenstocks?
It was a low-budget movie. They gave me what they had in the size.
And I was like, what? I was like, what kind of shoes are you wearing? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Mr. Hydrate.
Yeah, it was the first time. I was like working with the girls from Sister Sister.
Yeah.
That was it. But they were really cool, and I was just kept my space. And I was just excited to be working. And then what happened was I got off work and I was waiting for the bus to get a ride home. I remember, and it was very embarrassing, downtown LA. And I lived in Inglewood at the time, in a bad area. And I lived like off Hazel on the Bray, right by Manchester. And they saw me at the bus stop. That was the most embarrassing thing ever. And they drove by and And then I remember like that way they waved kind of like, and I was like, damn, they caught. I gotta come back to work tomorrow and see him again. So I'm like, oh man, forget it. So they pulled back and wanted to give me a ride. I was like, no, and then they did give me a ride, and I felt like, oh, they're really cool. They took me all where the Eagle was.
So at the end of the day, they met because
they already rich. They ain't got nothing else to do after work but to be rich.
And then he married her and put a couple of seeds in her. Now he's sorry.
I mean, at the time it was a good deal. They was young and in love.
Right.
Give them a chance.
That's how it usually starts. Young and in love. And then we see where they are now.
How was he supposed to know at the time?
He wasn't supposed to know. He ain't vet her well. He ain't know. But
supposed to know.
He just said, what kind of shoes you put on her brother?
She was
that says a lot.
Inexperienced young lady.
Respect.
She needs to sew her royal stretch.
No. He needs to
sew
say
royal
what womb?
because of the movie. If they had been cast in the same film, Tia wouldn't have known who he was when she saw him waiting for the bus. So the whole narrative that she just picked up some random stranger from the bus stop, that's not true. She and her sister were both familiar with Corey because he was working on the same set with them in the same movie. I mean, I know we want to believe that Tia is just that goofy and naive, but no, Corey was on the same set working with them in a movie. He was not a complete stranger just standing at the bus stop that got in their car. And another important factor here, at the time, Corey was 19 years old. The twins about 20-21. They were all young. Now, from the moment they met, Tia was always up and Corey was always hustling. He was always trying to get the next gig. And sure, he did get gigs. The movies, the TV shows, but he still had to work normal jobs too in the beginning. When they first met, he was still working jobs like security at Kmart to be able to provide a roof over his head between those acting gigs.
Hey, baby.
So the whole Tia being the breadwinner dynamic, it was constant.
Rick Ross was a correctional officer.
Right.
So, hey, baby, you got to work. The bills don't stop coming.
Throughout their whole relationship, present from the start of their friendship to their dating and then their marriage. At 19 years old, Corey was still trying to hustle and figure his way out when the twins had already completed a successful TV show, Sister Sister, as teenagers. Now, on to the people talking about, oh, a teacher assistant is a great job, and trying to compare that, saying,
teacher assistant?
Yes, that's what
so
the young brother.
He a backup teacher.
Right. He's not a backup teacher, son. He's an assistant to a teacher. Basically, he go get the chalk stuff when they kid.
Not no more. He a D-slanger now.
Tia met her husband at a bus stop. First of all, that's not the same thing. One, I already explained the whole bus stop situation, and I'm also going to lay out how this is not the same thing in just a second. But before that, you have to stop lying to yourselves. Number one, a teacher assistant job is an entry-level position. That's just reality. You are not the teacher. You are there to support the teacher. That's literally the role. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with everyday working people doing that job.
No, it's no thing at all. It's just that if she was talking all that about she has a problem kicking out, why you go get a guy like this?
No,
you know,
son,
if that's not an issue for her.
Why you should have stayed with your husband?
Right. Because she's saying that was part of the thing that broke them apart. There's no shame at all.
Can't take her seriously, man. Can't.
But what we're not going to do is sit here and pretend all roles are the same. They are not. The role is different. The hierarchy is different. The authority is different. And yes, the pay is different. Yeah. Calling a teacher assistant the same as a teacher is like calling a CNA the same as a registered nurse. Let's stop playing. Everybody knows there's a difference. One requires significantly more schooling, licensing, and responsibility than the other. One carries more authority in the environment than the other. The CNA didn't have the same level and amount of class instruction and knowledge as the RN. The RN studied and worked for years to gain those letters behind their name. The CNA got a certificate in just a few weeks. Again, it's not the same. And acknowledging that is not disrespect, but refusing to do so actually is. By constantly calling him a teacher when he didn't undergo the training, the licensing, and certification process.
People was calling him a teacher. I thought he was a teacher too.
I don't know, man. I don't know the young brother.
Says is disrespectful to actual teachers. And it's not just that he's a teacher assistant. He's only been in the school system for about 5 years. Dang. So that means this is something he moved into later 25. In life after his 20s, which indicates that for most of his adult life, he prioritized his art and creative pursuits and whatever he was chasing. But let's call it what it is. At 35 years old, still being a support.
You like that sweater? You wear that.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's cold, yeah, I will ride. I like thick sweaters.
Yeah, but look how it's cut. Anybody could have made that.
Role while trying to make it big
Got
in
a
Hollywood
Gordon
on the
Gartrell.
side is a very different life position than another 35-year-old who built a stable upward career path over time. For somebody who chose the latter at that point, they've been at it for over a decade. So if you're talking about upward mobility, most people are not aiming to still be in an entry-level support role at 35 years old. At 22, sure. At 35, that's a different conversation. Especially when they're out here making permanent real-world decisions like making 2 kids out of wedlock. You already know what you're signing up for when you do that. I'm talking about the constant threat of child support hanging over your head in a place like California, with California law making minimum wage $20 for the in-and-out fast food worker, while other positions are still making less or the same amount. Cost of living is going to be a major play in that as well. Keeping up with that cost of living with child support for 2 children will drain you. And at that level, you have no business doing anything else but figuring out your life really fast before you wreck yourself. Now, let's address the comparison y'all keep making. Comparing Corey Hardrick trying to build his life at 19 years old when Tia was 20 years old. He was filming movies and catching the bus home. Comparing that to a 47-year-old divorced woman meeting a 35-year-old teacher helper at your kid's school, and he's also struggling trying to juggle 2 kids and a few women on the side. That is not equivalent, not even close. One is a teenager at the very beginning of life, building from nothing, and the other is a fully grown adult with responsibilities who has already had over a decade and a half to establish stability. Those are 2 completely different timelines. It's not the same. We're talking about 15, 16 years between both. And as a grown 35-year-old man with 2 children already, you shouldn't be trying to figure out nothing. Your responsibility as a grown behind man is having your life together already before you get women pregnant twice. Not once, but 2 times. That's stupid. If you get these women pregnant with these children, you better have a way to pay for it, because whether you like it or not, child support services will make you pay for it. That's the true reality. Furthermore, it's highly hypocritical of Tia to be out here on national TV doing reality shows, complaining about being the breadwinner, speaking on the financial.
That's what I'm talking about. She left her husband for the same reason.
Your husband.
Yeah.
Not your dude, your husband. Your children's father.
Right. Talking about what goes down
right.
to the guys. Definitely. I'm not
it's a teacher's aide.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not living already however he's living, but I'm saying if you expect to live whatever lifestyle you were into, unless you're gonna get him an acting gig, you about to be back at it.
Right.
Gap and complaining about the mental and emotional toll of being the breadwinner, having the career, trying to balance the family, the husband, the kids, everything. It's outright selfish and even stupid to be with a man for over 2 decades, always having a more successful career than him and more money, break up with him over it to free yourself, only to hop into another situation with a man making less money than the husband with worse stats.
How often does that happen? We have a woman, she's a wife, has a family, will break up the family to become a side chick. Who she's the number one. She's in the passenger seat, right? She'll dissolve the whole thing, break up the family, which we know most divorce rates are initiated by women, most, like 70%, to become a side piece. And just pass around.
But that's not how she planned it. She planned it like, okay, I'm gonna get away from him, and now life is gonna be greener. Now it's done.
Right.
It's gonna be a lot of possibilities.
Right. And I don't knock that. That's called a whole phase. All women go through that, and that's fine.
Like she gonna be something better. She just needed to.
Hey, baby, that's great.
And then when she find out what she can really get,
well, let it be. I'm happy for. We're happy for her. Don't Stop Comedy. We think this is gonna work out really well with her and the teacher's aide.
Well, I'm happy for him.
For the young brother.
He done came up.
Yeah,
Sorry, a man that's 35 years old with 2 kids he can barely afford, never committed to a woman, but gave women children? And that's before even getting into this questionable lifestyle and all this drama that he's got going on with women talking about how he's trying to bring them and have them all be sister wives, how he's basically using Tia for money and fame. Even if I ignore all that and only...
Those is allegations. I did hear that they got some intercepted messages or something saying that he was trying to, get Tia to join the group.
That's cool. What's a sister wives joint?
Yeah, he a major pimp. He pull that off.
Yeah, he could do it.
Pull her down to the regular.
I wouldn't be
2 regular girls, and he bring her in.
I wouldn't even be surprised if she married him. She one of them types, man. She lonely. It's cool.
Not only that, you see this face, it's a look of determination. When she got what she want, she like, I got him.
Yeah, but she grasping at straws though. He just
I wanted to touch her brother. I sure needed a brother.
Touch her.
Focus on the core issue here. It's still out of order because you broke up your entire family. Had your husband out here admitting that he was suffering from a whole crisis when you left him. He said he cried every night over this. But you wanted to be happy because you got tired of making all the money and doing better than him, although he had roles too. But you got tired of having more and broke it all off, destroyed your whole family just to go hop in the bed with your daughter's teacher helper buddy down to the elementary school. The truth is, Tia is selfish. She didn't care about her son. She didn't care about her daughter. Nobody's happiness in the family seemed to matter, only Tia's. And at some point, instead of constantly looking...
And that's most women. Not all. I'm generalizing here. Most women, they're so selfish, man. So selfish. Her happiness supersedes everything.
It's the most important thing.
Most important. She is only loyal to her feelings and her emotions. That's it.
Who cares about everybody else's feelings?
Who cares about her family, her children, her husband? She don't care nothing about that. It's about her being happy. It's about her internally. I gotta be happy. All right, well, there you go. This is what you get.
That's what Oprah and them teach you. You gotta.